Independent Police Investigative Directorate is investigating the 2 police officers suspected of killing Nathaniel Julies. The Eldorado Park teenager with Down syndrome was shot and killed on Wednesday.
He allegedly had failed to respond to police questioning. Let's get more on this story with Ipid spokesperson Ndileka Cola. Very good morning to you. We know that 2 of the police officers are heading to court today. What more have you learnt about what happened?
Good morning, and thank you for having us. Indeed, this morning, Ipid, in actual fact, on Friday, Ipid arrested the 2 suspected police officers that are suspected in the Nathaniel Julies matter. So this morning they are scheduled to appear before the Protea Magistrate Court. They were arrested on Friday. This is after Ipid finally managed to develop the preliminary report of the investigation that has taken a bit longer than anticipated than it should. And this preliminary investigation, as a result of it, in actual fact, then the suspects are charged for three. They will be charged for murder. They will be charged for possession of prohibited ammunition and possibly for defeating the ends of justice. This is as a result of the preliminary investigation, and as I have indicated.
Ms. Cola, according to your investigations, what exactly transpired according to what you have? Because we're hearing different stories from the community's perspective, who say were eyewitnesses, who said, it seemed that the police officers intentionally shot at Nathaniel Julies. But on the other hand, some reports came in saying there was a shootout between the police officers as well as, some gangsters at Eldorado Park. From your findings, what exactly transpired?
Well, we're not at liberty. I'm actually not at liberty to be discussing such finer details of this particular case, because remember, this case is going to court, and Ipid is working during our investigation. We're working on ensuring that we have good evidence that is going to ensure that justice is served, because remember, they also have rights and they are still going to have their defense. So we want to make sure that we can't necessarily be disclosing other details, because we don't want to empower the suspects to be able to defend themselves in this matter. So we are very discreet when it comes to our findings at this point in time, and these are the findings that we are going to use as our evidence in court.
Ms. Cola, because you can't really, reveal too much, and we understand that, how long then does a case such as this one take for it to be concluded and for us to finally have some kind of information about what the 2 police officers says, what exactly transpired on that fateful Wednesday afternoon? How long is that going to take?
Okay, generally, it depends on the merits of each and every case. There's no specified timeline that within a month or within 2 weeks a case should have been finished. But what I must indicate is that this particular case is receiving high priority at Ipid. So we are anticipating that as soon as it is possible to get all the necessary information that outstanding. Because remember, when we do our investigation, we also have got some dependencies on other stakeholders, but we don't do ballistics, for example, from the side of Ipid. We depend on other stakeholders. We don't do post-mortem. So post-mortem results form an integral part of the report, and as well as witnesses and all those sort of processes. So once we get all the necessary reports from other stakeholders, then that empowers us then to put a comprehensive report, and then that comprehensive report then that we take to NPA. So it's quite a process that we are really treating it with the urgency it deserves.
All right, Ndileka Cola, thank you very much for that update. Let's go to our reporter, Viwa Matili, who's outside the court now and joins us. And I'm just wondering what it is that you are seeing there. I should imagine that if there is anybody there, I can't see anybody, a few people standing behind you, that it's going to be a rather emotional day.
It certainly should be an emotional day, Jane, but it's still fairly quiet this morning. You'd understand that the community of Eldorado Park are only converging at 7:30, where at least 3 buses will be transporting them, taking them to this Protea Magistrate Court. And of course, in support for Nathaniel Julies, who was shot allegedly at the hands of the police last Wednesday. You'd understand that yesterday they held a march where they said that they'd be here when those 2 policemen take the stand in court. We're expecting the court proceedings to start at 9 o'clock, you'd understand that 4 policemen on the day were there present. And in speaking to Nathaniel's mother, Bridget Harris, yesterday, she said that while she's happy that at least some action's been taken, she's not quite happy that not all 4 policemen will be in court today, basically facing the charges of murder, possibly defeating the ends of justice, as well as possession of prohibited ammunition.
Aviwe, since this terrible incident happened on Wednesday, you spent a lot of time in that area in Eldorado Park, and you've gotten a chance to speak, to all kinds of community members. And I'm curious to know, do they actually have any faith that justice will be served, considering that this isn't the first time an incident like this has happened?
It certainly isn't the first time. I mean, it's one of the issues that they've been raising up, saying that they feel like colored lives do not matter in South Africa, because incidences such as what Nathaniel Julies went through on that fateful Wednesday normally get covered up, basically. Even how it happened, you'd understand that he was shot near the truck, where the witnesses that we've spoken to say that he was dragged under that truck, basically, and then chucked into a police van, where he was later on dumped at Bara Hospital, and then another police van came then to the scene moments later, basically just covering up the blood of Nathaniel Julies. They're saying that this incident is quite rampant in Eldorado Park. I spoke to a lady there, basically, who said that just a similar incident happened to her, and losing her son basically 3 years ago. And then the thing that happened was that while we were talking, she told me that 15 minutes ago, the policeman that did that, allegedly killed her son, was driving past, and she confronted that policeman, asking, "What are you doing here? Seeing that you did the very same thing to my son." No accountabilities happened to that policeman, as he's still out in the street. So they are quite enraged by these violent spates of brutality, allegedly at the hands of policemen, and they want accountability. They're glad that at least now this one has happened at the gaze of the media, where at least some action has been taken so far.
I mean, Aviwe, that demand for justice was very clear just last week, even yesterday during that march, when we saw community members saying they want justice, not only for Nathaniel Julies, but also for the community of Eldorado Park, because as you mentioned, that mother who hasn't received justice for her son's death as yet, I can imagine the pain, it gives her seeing that alleged police officers who've been involved in that killing, allegedly, of course, roaming the streets in uniform. But just to be clear, Ipid is definitely still continuing with the investigations. The 2 police officers who are not named yet, as per protocol, they still have to appear, will be doing so at 9 a.m. Do we know at this point exactly what the charges are? Can you clarify that for us?
So the charges are a murder charge. The policeman that will be here today will be facing a murder charge, possibly defeating the ends of justice, as well as possession of prohibited ammunition. I mean, the community is basically fed up. I mean, they're unwavering in the call for justice, saying that such incidents have been happening, and they now want accountability. I mean, in speaking to the Ipid boss just on Friday, they do say that at this current moment they have statements from 4 witnesses, basically, as well as 2 police officers that were part of the 4 police officers on the day that have given statements as well. And of course, the issue is there was this one particular policeman that has been quite brazen, basically. The community quite fearful of this policeman, believing that it's this particular policeman. But the Ipid boss suggested that it might not be him. But also now we've seen the charge of the prohibited, a bigger part in the possession of prohibited ammunition, which suggests that while they may not have used their own firearms, they might have been an illegal firearm. But I guess all of that will be clear just inside the Protea Magistrate Court. We'll hear exactly what the details of the charges are.
Thank you very much for that. Let's leave it there.